All right, Shakes. I'm almost bummed that I didn't hit record the second we started because we already had a pretty good start to this interview here. But thanks so much for being here on the All Bets Rock podcast, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's been a while since I've done one of these.
Oh, this is going to be fun, and I think I got some good questions for you here when we get to our lightning round. But before we get there, I like to start. Always like super excited to hear how people even like fell in love with rock and roll. Like, how did you discover rock, and what made you go, "This is what I want to do"?
Well, man, so my dad was a drummer. When I was growing up, I grew up in Rockford, Illinois. That's where I'm from, the home of Cheap Trick.
Mm,
Uh, so Buddy Carlos lived like right down the street. Like I grew up right down the street from him. Been to his house, all that stuff. But so my dad was a drummer, and I remember him, having drums set up down in the basement at the house we lived in, and I used to go just jack with them. Probably like I remember like I used to pull on the snare wires and stuff. I was a little kid, I got in trouble for that stuff. And he played for quite a while, but he just kind of played locally, and he ended up giving it up. He went into the Air Force, and it kind of just he never did it really again. So, but he always kept the drums around just in case I wanted to. Now, I really never had any interest in it until it was right at the time when CD players came out. So I can't remember what year that would have been. That would have been like definitely in the mid '80s, I think, late '80s when the
mhm.
CD players hit the market. My dad bought one, and he bought. I had no idea what this thing was, and he had a big stereo in his house or in our house. He used to play it all the time, play all kinds of stuff. He bought Live at Budokan, Cheap Trick,
Oh,
and put that on. Now I've heard their music my whole life, and I probably heard that record before, a bunch of times. But for some reason, sitting down and listening to it that day, like when it went from the first track, "Hello," into "Come On, Come On," like I got the chills, man. I got the chills, and that was the first time music ever did that to me. It was like maybe it was the first time I ever really paid attention to it. But right then and there, I was like, I want to be a drummer. I wonder if I could do that. And I already knew just sitting there, like listening to that music, and because my dad was a drummer, I already knew how to do like one and two and three and four and I was like, I mean, that's kind of what it is.
yeah.
So that's how it started. And then my uncle had a band. This is my mom's brother. He had a country rock band,
Oh,
and
wow.
so I would go right at that time. His band was practicing at my grandma's place, so I went over there and watched the drummer play, and that's kind of what got it started as to what I need to do to be able to play a bass or to be able to play a drum beat. I didn't know how to work the bass drum. Boom, boom, bop, boom, bop, boom, bop. The first thing I did when I sat down on a drumsticks or drum set, they gave me the sticks, and I sat on his kit, and I went on the snare. And my coordination, I couldn't figure out how to do. How the hell do you put a kick drum in there while you're doing this with your hands? And I literally practiced that at school, at home, for probably at least a month or a month and a half. And one day I woke up, and like I did every day, I tried to do it, and I had it.
Oh,
And
wow.
I was like, that's it. I'm a drummer.
And how old were you about then?
I would say I was about 9 or 10.
Wow. And you've been playing ever since.
Yeah. Now you fast forward 2 years later, when I'm 12, my uncle's band's playing one night, and my grandma calls my mom. And my mom comes downstairs, and she's like, "Hey, your grandma's on the phone for you." I was like, "What?" It's Saturday night, like it's 8 o'clock. Why is she calling me at this time? I answer the phone. And she's like, "Hey, Gary's playing at this bar called Kathy's Cove in Beloit, Wisconsin tonight, and his drummer is not showing up. He quit. Can you come play? Can you come play this?" And I was like, "Well, let me go ask my mom." And I was like, "Hell yeah, I could do it." And I went up and asked her, and she was like, "All right." My grandma came and picked me up. I tore the kit down. This is the kit sitting right here. It's right. Here's one of them to the rack tom. My first drum kit, the Slingerland
Wow.
70 Slingerland kit. It's a little dirty right now. It's been sitting for a while. I'm getting ready to do some work on them. That's why they're in here. So I loaded these things up in my grandma's car and went to this bar. It was freaking packed. It was just a regular bar. There's probably like 150 people in there, though. When you're 12 years old and you're walking in with your bass drum and there's all these people and they go, yeah, I was like, what? Yeah. And I knew those songs well enough by hearing them practice that I played and everybody just freaked out. And I joined the band permanently. So from 12 to about 16 or 17, I was playing in bar bands every weekend through school, middle school and high school.
Oh my God, that's that's incredible. That's amazing. So where do you go for as far as you're doing the bar bands, you're playing with your uncle. When do you start like your own project or jump into your first like this is mine?
That would have been when I was 17. Me and a guitar player friend of mine. He was a guy I knew. He lived like around the block from me. He was a great guitar player. He was a sheriff. My cat is interested in what's going on right now. So I guess he's joining me. This is Leonard, everybody. He's decided it's pet time. So,
All right,
damn, what were we saying now, Leonard? Oh, okay. So I had a guitar friend of mine. We were hanging out a lot. And we were kind of jamming together, and I was like, dude, I always wanted to put a metal band together because the first band, my uncle's band, was a classic country and classic rock band. So we played like a lot of the country standard stuff, which paid it paid for itself later on in life because I had to do more of that. But
oh wow.
I wanted to, and then I joined an actual classic rock band. So it was another step towards what I wanted to play, which was metal. So, when the cover band thing kind of fizzled out for me, and at that age, I was like, well, dude, I'm going to get a part-time job and I'm going to start a band. So I started a thrash metal band with my friend called Catacomb. And I recruited another guitar player buddy from school and convinced him to play bass. So we had a bass player. And then I recruited another, just a friend, a metalhead guy. I was like, you want to try singing thrash? Yeah. And he was able to do it. He was able to do it pretty well, man. So yeah, we did that and just cut a cassette, probably like 8 or 9 songs, and it fizzled out in like a year.
So where do you go from there? Because now that's like you said, you're working towards being in a metal band, and then you get that taste of it. So then what happens?
Yeah. So then I kind of I'm getting, close to like graduating high school and stuff. I kind of just gigged around, freelanced around with some blues artists, and with some other like classic rock bands and stuff. And then it got to the point to where I wanted to move out of the Rockford area because I felt like there was just nothing, happening for me there. Like I needed to push to get out and actually push myself to do something. I think I would just stayed and been too comfortable,
Yeah.
And the weather is horrible up there in the winters, and I couldn't take it anymore. So I moved south to Florida, and I ended up hooking up. I had a friend that lived down there. I went to live with him. He was a drummer, but he was already in a band, and he got a call for this blues artist from Houston, Texas, is looking for a drummer to do some European tours, and so Pat was like, I can't do it. So he put my name in the hat. So when I got down there, we set up an audition like within the first couple of weeks, and I got it. And I was planning on moving down there and just hitting the jam sessions and stuff because they had a real big blues scene a lot of amazing players in Sarasota, Florida at that time. So we would just go every night. There was killer jam sessions. So I was doing that a lot when I got down there. And I just automatically hooked up with that thing. And I think within like a month or two that I went to the UK was the first place I ever went to out of the country. And we did like a lot of places in Europe, Italy, all over Italy. I went to Amsterdam. That was freaking crazy, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, so that was like my first taste of that, of like the touring life. And that was my first tour, was Europe. My first tour ever.
Wow, that is insane.
Yeah, I never thought about that. Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, so I got to ask then, because so you've done the classic rock thing, the country thing, the blues stuff, the metal.
Yep.
So like, who or you know, what was your biggest inspirations, and have they changed from then to now? Because it seems like you're so well versed in everything. So what bands or what drummers were like, that's who I'm looking at, you know?
At that time, well, in that era, Bunny Carlos from Cheap Trick, Ian Pace from Deep Purple, Neil Peart, of course, big time, and people like, you know, Buddy Rich. I mean, there's just too many freaking classic drummer. Tommy Aldridge, you know, I liked all of them. Another favorite was Les Binks from Judas Priest. Unleashed in the East is like, you know, my favorite live record ever. And so he's one. So that was like the influences back in that day. And then I would say, as you know, the 90s and stuff happened when Slipknot came out, of course, Joey, of course.
Yeah.
Big time. Morgan Rose, you know, and I started that playing, and that was like around 2002. I ended up joining. We were classified a new metal band, but it was kind of like a modern Aerosmith kind of. It was a real stoner rock influenced band called Neurotica, out of Sarasota, Florida. I had been a fan of that band for years before I ended up hooking up with them, but I had befriended the singer Kelly Schaefer, who came from the death metal band Atheist. Their drummer quit, and I got a call to join that thing. So that was like my first real, actual metal, real band that is doing stuff. We got signed to a deal with the WWE. Started a record label called SmackDown Records in 2002, and we were the one and only band signed on that label. So we released that record, and did Ozfest in 2002. We did the whole summer, that Ozfest, and then the label disbanded, and the band broke up.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
So, but you get that taste of success though, and obviously the WWE is a juggernaut, and I've had other musicians on who have you know, done songs for wrestlers and things like that within WWE. So, being signed with the WWE, did they, you know, use you guys to promote like pay-per-views or you know, anything like that at the time?
Yeah, they used one of our songs for Monday Night Raw for a while. I think for maybe a month or something. And it was so between that and Ozfest, we were doing okay in sales, but there was so much turmoil in that label from the get-go. It wasn't surprising that they folded. They were like, you don't owe us any money. All the money they invested into us, which was a lot, you know, we never had to pay it back or nothing. It was just, it's done.
Wow.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
at that period in time or at all, like, were you or are you a wrestling fan?
I was like, at that time, not so much, because I was just too engulfed in music that anything else outside of that, like, I wasn't really interested in anything, you know. But as a kid, I've been watching some WWE stuff, and I was a fan as a kid, and couldn't believe like how much of that stuff I actually saw when I was a kid and forgot that I did. I forget what I've been watching some documentaries and stuff about it, and I'm like, dude, I remember seeing that. I remember seeing that. The first WrestleMania, saw that. So I think as I got older, I just fell out of touch with the wrestling thing because music was 24/7.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So it was kind of weird when we were signed to the label because I wasn't really familiar with what was going on at the time.
Yeah,
You know?
But what about so you get on Ozfest though, and you said you did the whole summer of Ozfest, so that had to be a wild experience for you.
Yeah, still to this day, and I've done had a lot of cool stuff happen. That is, I would say it's probably the best thing I've had happen to me.
Oh,
Or one of them. I mean, one of them big time. It was, wow, what a lifestyle change.
I'm sure.
We're on a bus, all these bands, signing autographs at the tents every day, partying, whatever, man, playing in front of thousands of people. It was wild. So it was really, really cool.
So how do you go from the WWE label, you do Ozfest, and then the label falls apart and the band disbands? So where does that take you?
Back to Rockford, Illinois.
Oh,
okay. So that would have been the end of 2002. I delivered pizzas for Domino's for 3 months, and then I headed to San Antonio, Texas, where I am currently at right now, to join up with a industrial metal band called Pitbull Daycare.
So that brings you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. We got a little delay, so I keep overlapping you.
Oh no! Go ahead. Go ahead.
So you get down to San Antonio, you jump into another metal band, and now that takes you how far into the future then before we're leading to like, I know you did stuff with Wednesday once before and Joey and all that stuff. So this is all like you're just piecing all of this together, this little puzzle, and it's just amazing to me that at this point you've already done Ozfest. So like my mind is already blown here that now you're starting like again.
Yeah. So I joined that band in 2003, and we hit the road hard, man. We did some hard touring in a van that barely was working, no AC, windows missing, broke like so broke I'm scraping for change on the van floor, like when we're stopping at Wendy's or McDonald's and stuff like that. It was super, super hard, but we got to do some cool stuff. They opened for a lot of, bigger industrial bands like Lords of Acid, and they actually opened for King Diamond on a tour. That was before my time. But the biggest thing I did with them was we did a ministry tour in 2007, I think it was.
Wow.
2006 to 2007. So that Ministry, we were out with them. That's where I met Joey Jordison because he played drums for Ministry on that tour.
Oh, wow. Okay. So everything starts connecting here.
That's where I met Joey, and that's where this starts coming into play. Now, on that tour, also, Ramon Sermon from Wednesday 13 was Pitbull Daycare's guitar tech.
Oh, wow.
That's how he met Joey.
Okay. All right.
So me and him both met him at the same time.
Does this directly lead into you guys working with Joey, or is this come still farther down the road?
It's still pretty far down the road, a little bit. For Ramon, it came, after that tour. For Ramon, it came pretty quick because he started teching for Wednesday 13. Okay. So Ramon was a guitar tech for a few years. And I got brought into the Wednesday mix before the Murder Dolls mix. Ramon said that Wednesday wanted to do a kind of a classic rock influenced album called Gunfire 76.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Do you want to play on it?" He's like, "I referred you to Wednesday. We had played with Pitbull Daycare, actually opened for Wednesday 13 once, but I don't know if they ever saw us or anything. But he trusted. I don't know if he ever saw me even play or anything. I don't know. He just knew that I did some stuff. Oh, by that point, I had already played with Sebastian Bach. I forgot. I left that out.
Okay, yeah, we have to talk about that because I want to dig into that for sure.
Yeah, now it's Oh man, I did gunfire after. Yeah, so after Pitbull, or right at the end of Pitbull Daycare, um, I got called to do Guns N' Roses tour drumming for Sebastian Bach. And that was
Wow.
in 2007. So I guess the Pitbull tour would have been 2006 with Ministry. Damn. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Um, so this is toward the end of Pitbull Daycare. I get a call. I'm actually at the singer of Pitbull Daycare's house. We're hanging out. Um, there's a few people there, and we're just hanging out having a barbecue or something. And this is before cell phones. And somehow my friend from Florida got a hold of me there. I don't even remember how. And I hadn't talked to this guy in years. And his name was Johnny Chromatic. He was Sebastian's guitar player for quite a few years.
Oh,
And
wow.
so Johnny's on the phone. He's like, man, what's going on, man? What are you doing? And I'm like, well, having a barbecue. He's like, no, I mean, are you doing any touring right now? And I was like, no, we're just kind of in limbo. We didn't have anything going on at the time, which happened off and on with that band.
Mhm.
And he was like, dude, my band, or he's like, we need a drummer. We're going out with Guns N' Roses in like 2 months, and we need a drummer. Our drummer can't do it. Can you do it? And I was like, wait a minute. So I knew Johnny was in a cover band in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was not aware that he played guitar for Sebastian. So I was like, hold on. I was like, your cover band Chromatic is going to open for Guns N' Roses? He's like, no, dude, I play guitar for Sebastian Bach. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. Get out of here. He's like, no, for real. Sebastian wants you to do it. He trusts my word. And, Johnny was a Neurotica fan. He lived, from this Tampa, Sarasota days, So I played with his band many times. Just used to get drunk, go sit in and play like Stain songs and shit with them.
Yeah.
And so, Sebastian trusted his word. And so he put me in touch with Sebastian, and Sebastian's like, you want to rock or what? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So yeah, that's how that came about. So we went and, I prepped for it. I was like, damn, I can't believe I'm going to be playing 18 in Life and freaking Youth Gone Wild and Slave to the Grind. I listened to that since the day it came out.
Yeah, right.
I grew up on it, man. So, yeah, I prepared for it. We went out there and rehearsed at his house for a few days.
Mhm.
And then we did Japan first. We did a few Japan shows. Now, earlier I mentioned that Judas Priest Unleashed in the East is my favorite live record pretty much all together. That and Budokan. Well, we're playing one night, and this was like I think it was the second show. So we're getting ready to go on stage. The intro's rolling. And Sebastian's like, dude, this is where Judas Priest recorded live live in Japan. And now have a good show, man. And he goes running out, and I'm walking to the drum riser, and I'm like processing this now. And I'm like, you couldn't wait till after to tell me that, or I've been with you all day. Why didn't you tell me like 5 hours ago when I could have processed this shit? So I'm up there playing Slave to the Grind, looking out, and I'm like, damn, this is where stop my party time. This is where it was happening.
Oh my God, that's great. That's fantastic. Such a Sebastian thing too, to just like drop that and run.
It is, man. It was like, holy shit. It took me like I was nervous anyway because it was my second show ever with them.
Oh, wow. And I
then,
assume you were a Guns N' Roses fan as well?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So that was, a couple days later, we met up with Guns N' Roses. I remember we were walking through an airport somewhere, and Sebastian's like, dude, I just text Axel. Wait till you see my new drummer. He fucking smokes.
Oh, wow.
Like, this is going to be freaking crazy. So, yeah, we went and first day, meet up, do that thing. I get my drum kit. It's a different drum kit. We had to go to Australia. That was where a lot of that was happening in Australia and New Zealand and stuff. Uh, so I get there and met Tom Mayhew, the tour manager. Got the lecture about don't fuck up out here, and just as the same as I did on Ozfest. Okay, yeah, cool. Got my laminates and stuff, and played that show like first time in an arena for me. Like, wow, dude, this is freaking crazy. This is absolutely nuts. And then afterwards, every night on that tour, every night there was always a Guns N' Roses after party, and that lasted till 2 or 3 in the morning inside the arena. A whole room blocked off, blacked out, curtains, a fucking PA system in there to blast music. The first time I met Axl, I'm standing there and I'm like, I have a drink and I'm checking out what they got, and all of a sudden I hear Cheap Trick come on, and I was like, dude, badass. And I turn around and I look, and there's Axl standing over there where the iPad is plugged into the PA, and he's fucking Axl dancing to Cheap Trick. And I was like, I gotta go talk to this dude. So I went and introduced. I think I just went and just started talking to him, introduced myself, and we hung out a bunch of times. It was really cool.
That's excellent, man. What a great story. So I'm gathering here then by about 2007, you've basically toured the world.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, that is wild. And then, so was that the only tour that you did with Bach, or were there others?
Now there's another one that came in 2010, and this kind of started clashing with Murder Doll stuff, because this is when I was, like kind of like all around the time I think that was kind of started. So I did that tour. I found out while I was still on this Sebastian Bach tour that my band was breaking up in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. I saw a flyer for our last show, and I was like, "Oh, fucking killer! It's done." Wow. I was like, "Cool, all right, we're going to do our last show, and I don't have to worry about that anymore." So we did that. I ended up hooking up with Brian Scott from Union Underground. He had a band for a while. He was doing another band called Cult to Follow. So it was me. He got me involved in that. Me, Bird, the guitar player of Pitbull Daycare, and Troy Doubler, who is Wednesday 13's bass player right now.
Yeah.
Right now. So we all did that band for a while. We did that for maybe a couple, 2 or 3 years. And then we never broke up. Nothing. It just stopped. It just stopped. I was in another band with Jason McMaster from Dangerous Toys called Evil United. Oh. And that again was me, Bird from Pitbull Daycare, who was in Cult to Follow, Donnie Van Stavern from Riot, who was also in Pitbull Daycare, and a friend of ours here from town named John Valenzuela, JV4. And he was our rhythm guitar player. Wow. All of us the songwriters. Yeah, so we did that band. We did 3 records. There's 3 records out. Evil United.
What's funny is so I've interviewed Troy, obviously, and Jason McMaster as well, and it's just watching you like build this like community around you that I know is eventually leading to you guys doing like Gunfire and Murder House and Wednesday 13. I'm like, it's amazing seeing it all come together. But anyways, I just had to get that out. Continue with how everything unravels here.
It's kind of crazy because I haven't thought about this in a long time. It's funny. I've been kind of messing with Chat GPT and seeing what it knows about me, and I've kind of I've been correcting it. It thought I played with Static X. I'm like, man, that would have been really cool, but I didn't. Oh, okay, we'll correct that. Yeah, no, my name got associated with that somehow, but no. Yeah. So I kind of had a little bit of a refresher, but this is a lot of stuff, like the timeline, the actual timeline of it is like pretty wild to even think back about.
But you're saying you hooked up with Gunfire before you went out on tour with Bach for the second time.
Yes. So this is right up to Gunfire time, right
Got
when Cult of Follow is. I think we were probably still together, but we weren't doing anything. And that's when Ramon called me and said, "Hey, man, Wednesday wants to do this Gunfire '76 record. It's going to be more of like a classic rock sounding album, and we thought you would be perfect for that since that's what you're fucking rooted in."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So we just started talking, and Wednesday sent me some demos, just like 4-track demos, pretty much like half written songs. And I listened to all of them a bunch of times, and okay, I pretty much, I got an idea of what I'm going to do, or what I want to try to do. Uh, and just flew out there, and I think we rehearsed maybe 2 or 3 days
Hmm.
trying to kind of put these songs together. A lot of it, some of it, from what I remember, it was kind of being almost assembled in the actual tracking,
Hmm.
you know. But they were, they were laid out pretty well. So I mean, we did, a couple days of prep for that, and then we did the album. I think I knocked it out in 4 days.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and that album to me is like just like how the whole album is, the capturing of the drums and everything. It's probably my favorite thing I've ever done,
I
because
love that.
just the style that I played on that album, it doesn't sound like anything else that I've done, like with Evil United or any of these other bands.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
this band had a perfect spot for that style,
And
and
that
it
record
was.
is fantastic. Like it holds up. Like you could listen to it right now, and it's such a great record.
I still love it. It's my dad's favorite record that probably I've ever done too. He's like, dude, that record is so awesome. He's got the CD, the vinyl, the shirt, everything.
That's great. And then of course the tour after the album comes out, the Gunfire '76 tour.
I
It,
didn't do it. Yeah.
yeah, well,
Uh,
I was actually going to bring that up because I opened up some shows for that tour. So
oh, okay.
I was going to say I would have met you then if if
Definitely,
the case.
definitely. And I wanted to do it, but it just didn't happen for some reason.
Okay. So where do
I
you
don't
go?
know. I remember hearing something about, I had long hair at the time, and I remember hearing something about, well, Wednesday would want you to cut your hair. Because, Wednesday had that hairdo
Yeah.
at the gun. And I was like, well, whatever. Okay. I could do that, but it just never happened. I don't know. I don't know why. It
Wow.
was
Okay.
weird.
So then we go from Gunfire, and then what's the next building block here?
So gunfire, dang, what would have been after that? Man, before the Murder Dolls came out, I guess I was just here in town. I was doing a lot of local gigs. I was playing 5 nights a week here in town for a long time.
Okay.
So on my downtime, that's how I made money, is, playing, and I was playing country,
Mm.
like classic full on country. I did
Wow.
that for a long time. So that was good that I had those country roots,
Yeah.
because these guys are still playing the same songs that I played in when I was 12, and I was like, what? This is a trip. So
So
that
what
prepared me for that.
so what comes first then? So you're doing the country songs, you're doing 5 nights a week, and then
Yep.
is it Murder Dolls
I
or Sebastian Bach?
No, it would have been, well, Sebastian Bach again,
Mm.
but Roman was I don't know if he was talking to me about Murder Dolls, something, I don't know. There was Sebastian Bach again. He contacted me in 2010
Mhm.
and wanted me to do another Guns N' Roses tour.
Oh, okay.
Uh, and this one, I don't remember where. Oh, it was the UK, I think. Yeah, I think we did the UK. And the funny thing was, Murder Dolls jumped off, and then we jumped on.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. So I was like, damn, Ramon, I just missed you by a day.
Yeah.
Missed you on Wednesday, and Joey. I haven't seen Joey in years, man. So I
Wow.
missed you by a day. Fuck, they had to go do their thing. So I did that tour, and then that's kind of sometime right after that, not long, I guess. Probably towards the end of the year is when or maybe even damn, it might have been real short notice. I think the beginning of 2011 is when Ramon called me and was like, dude, they're going to like make a move and Joey wants you to come play drums for this band.
That's
and I was like, damn, but you would have to go. What we're going to do first, they were doing Soundwave in Australia in February. And okay, how did this work? Yeah, so yeah, they were doing Soundwave. There was no rehearsal prep time for it.
Oh wow!
Because they were on the road. That's what was happening. They were on the road and they found a spot where they wanted to do the change. I guess I think that's what happened. So yeah, Ramon's like, you want to go do this? I was like, let me think about it for a second. Yeah, fucking okay. Well, let's get the paperwork started. So I got with the Murder Dolls management, got all the visas, everything taken care of, and came up to the time, 2011. It's time to fly out and go meet Wednesday in Ramon at Los Angeles to fly to Australia. The day before I leave, I get married. I got married to my wife the day before I left for the tour. Our plan was we wanted to go like out of the country for like a honeymoon. So while I was gone, my wife was supposed to be, maybe looking into getting a passport or something. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of like, well, let's get married. And then, I'm going to be gone for a month and a half, something like that. I think it was. Yeah, so got married. Next morning, flew to Los Angeles, met Wednesday and Joey and Jack. Roger, the tour manager, was there. There was a couple of techs. Chris Davis was there, the tech. He was a longtime tech for Wednesday. And we all flew to Australia. And then stayed in the hotel that night. Next day, went to the fairgrounds. First day, I was freaking go and get there. I'm like, okay, the drum kit's over here. Chris Davis is already all setting it up, and I'm looking. All right, how am I going to do this? What do I need? What do I get it all put together, and then somebody comes out and is like, "Hey, Joey's here. He wants to see you." I was like, "All right." So I come walking back in there, and I go in the trailer of the dressing room. And Joey's like, "You goddamn son of a bitch, motherfucker!" As we did, And it was like, okay, so we're going to play in about an hour. So here's the set list. We have the intro. We're going to do these 3 songs, Wednesday Talks. It's all written on the set list. These 3 songs, this song's going to end like this because it fades out on the record. Wednesday Talks here. This song ends like this because it fades out on the record. And have a good show. Wow. All right. Go out there, that intro, the Murder Dolls intro is rolling to the, that they used on the record. Yep. And it's like 10,000 fucking people. And I'm like, oh shit, I've never played with this band in my life. And this is, you hold it together. I come out and I'm standing on this stuff, standing out like, like, dude, here we go. And we're off and running.
Wow, I love that.
I messed up the beginning of "Drug Me to Hell" that day. The song "Drug Me to Hell" starts with a build. I counted it in. It came straight into a beat. So the build wasn't there, but it ended up working. But it was confusing as fuck because for a minute there, I was like, "What song am I playing?" And then we kind of caught the riff, and then I don't know if there's video of that out there. There might be.
Oh, that's.
And that was mainly the only major fuck up I had.
And this is.
But I was tense and nervous.
Yeah, of course. And like you said, there was really no rehearsal. You just kind of got thrown into it. So I completely understand that. So does that tour, you complete that Murder Dolls tour, obviously, and does that just straight into being in Wednesday 13, or did that still take time?
Nope. Yep, it's right into being in Wednesday 13. So after we did the Soundwave stuff, we went to Japan, and we were supposed to play 3 shows in Japan with Black Veil Brides were opening.
Mm.
And we did the first show. I don't remember where it was, somewhere. And then I think the second show was supposed to be in Tokyo. And on March 11th, 2011, it was a day off for us, and it was my birthday. So I was like, well, I'm in Japan. It's my birthday. I'm hungover as shit. I want to go down and have sushi. So we went down to the sushi around 2 o'clock or something, 2:15. Went down there, and we're sitting there, and we had just ordered our food. I'm like, okay, this is going to be killer. And everything starts shaking like freaking crazy. It was the day of the tsunami and the Japan earthquake.
Wow.
We were there. We were fucking there.
That's insane. And, I actually heard this story from Wednesday once before. So hearing it from somebody else will be cool. So, like, how long did it last? I can't even imagine what was running through your mind.
Oh, dude. I mean, this is something. I was typing stuff about that to ChatGPT today, actually. And do I have PTSD from this? Because I don't feel like I do. I didn't handle it well at the time, but afterwards, I kind of, I don't know, I stayed so drunk there that I think it just blocked out in my mind. It lasted, I guess, probably 3 to 5 minutes. Shaking heavily. Everything, like, at first Ramon's like, dude, that's like a mini earthquake. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then it just kept getting more and more and more and more. First thing I do is like start watching the local people. Are they used to this, or are they freaking out? And at first, everybody was cool, and then it got to the point to where, oh yeah, you saw the urgency.
Yeah.
People getting up, running. There was these fish tanks they had, up against the walls in that place. Huge fish tanks, and the water's just going, whoa, whoa, out one side, bam, out the other side, bam, out the other side. I get up, I'm thinking this building's going to collapse on us. And as I'm running up, they close the freaking doors to the place. These tall buildings, we were in one of the tallest buildings in Tokyo, apparently. And these buildings have structural earthquake doors.
Oh, wow.
So they fucking closed them right as I ran up there, and I just got down on the ground and like on my knees and just like did one of these. And Ramon is standing there with a cell phone filming me and making jokes about it while this shit's going on. I'm like, dude, this ain't
Oh,
I was fucking tripping out. And yeah, he's standing there like, like he does.
Like he does, yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, we were stranded there for a few days. The shows got canceled. The remaining shows got canceled. It was fucking crazy. So yeah, after the earthquake gets done, they open these doors, and then we go running out like into the square. Yeah. Everybody's running out of. Wednesday was at TGI Fridays across the street from us. From Japan at TGI Fridays, having Jack and Cokes and chicken wings. I'm having sushi and a fucking beer to cure this hangover. And we all fucking meet in the middle of the street. Wednesday's freaked out. Then Chris Davis, our tech, comes running down, no shoes on, no pants, in red boxer underwear.
Oh my!
That's it. And he was up on one of the upper floors. We were, that's a good thing we weren't up in our rooms at this time, actually. He was, and he said it was freaking, like, it was a nightmare in there. He went running out of the room to find the stairs or get out of the fucking place, and he was like, dude, I was just being thrown from one side of the hall to the other.
Oh my God. Yeah,
it was, and we were just all out there freaking out. Where's Joey? Joey's at an interview, like, in another part he's not in Tokyo right now. I don't know where he was doing an interview for something somewhere.
Wow.
And I guess it's totally freaked out. Joey was kind of a nervous energy anyway, like I am.
Mhm.
So it affected him pretty badly. He's fucking freaked out about it.
I can't even imagine.
But they hadn't canceled our shows, and from what I remember hearing, we had a ticket out of there on Alice Cooper's private jet. Now I don't know if this is true or not, but Joey was like, "No, fuck that. We're staying and playing the shows."
Oh wow! And then they got canceled.
So the jet took off or whatever. I think they were taking somebody else, and we could have ridden with whatever band it was. I don't know if it was actually Alice Cooper or what, but so we were, then the next day, man, I get up and it's about time to go to sound check. I haven't heard anything. So I called Don Roger and I'm like, hey man, is this show still on? He's like, yeah, I guess so. All right, cool. So I'm fucking starting to get my stuff together and putting all my clamps and drum stuff that I need in my bag to take to sound check, and the phone rang and I picked it up. He's like, shows are canceled. We're looking for a way to get home now.
Wow.
And I was like, all right, I'll talk to you in a bit.
What a way to
And then it was wild, man. Yeah. And I couldn't get in contact with home for hours after it happened because I think like the internet didn't work. I mean, obviously I didn't have a cell phone. The internet didn't work. So, I remember being like a good 10 hours or something before I was able to talk to my wife back here. And so her and her family are watching CNN and shit. And CNN is just blowing it up like they're like, he's dead.
Oh my!
They thought I was dead for like 10 hours. I was like, no, I was over at the English pub getting fucking hammered with Joey and everybody. All of us were there, the whole band. We just stayed at that pub until 2 or 3 days later when we finally got a flight out.
So when you guys get the flight out, is there more shows when you get back home, or is it straight to doing the Wednesday 13 thing?
No, there was one more week of shows. Or did we? Yeah, it was 2 weeks. We did like a 2-week West Coast thing.
Oh, okay.
At the end of let's see, February, March, April. End of April. Mm-hmm. We did Golden God Awards. The Revolver Golden God Awards. We went to that in Los Angeles. Murder Dolls were up for Comeback of the Year, and Joey had like Drummer of the Year.
Oh wow!
So Joey himself was accepting a couple awards. Mm-hmm. So we all went to that and hung out. And I go into the bathroom and I'm taking a piss, and I look over. There's Lars stand next to me. Hey, dude, what's up? Hey, Andrew Dice Clay was supposed to be at our table.
Oh wow!
I still have the little card somewhere. I wonder if it's hanging up in here. I have a bunch of crap hanging up here. I used to have a little card that said Murder Dolls and Andrew Dice Clay, and there was these little gift bags full of like just bullshit, for us. I remember I got like a USB microphone and some other magazines and weird shit, like a gift basket. It was like, cool. It was wild. Alice Cooper's original band played that night, so I got to see that. That was cool. And then the next day, then we headed and did some West Coast shows. We did like Pomona. I know we did Ace of Spades. I think we did Albuquerque or something. And then the last show was at the Whiskey.
Oh.
And that's when the turmoil started happening within the group.
Gotcha. And
I was just kind of outside looking in the turmoil, but I was like, this ain't good. Okay. This does not look good.
Gotcha. So that would have been after, just for the people listening who maybe don't know, this is after Murder Dolls came out with Women and Children Last. So yep. This is what was it? Something like 10 years after Beyond the Valley or something?
Yeah, I think so. Because that record came out. Well, that record came out in 2002, and I think the second one came out in I want to say 2010. So they were already on. I think they were on tour for like a year on that record before I even joined up.
Okay, gotcha. So I just wanted to,
and for me, it was at the end of that.
okay. I just want to get that timeline just for some of the listeners who are following along with the history of the Murder Dolls, at least. So from the Murder Dolls, what are you doing in between? Or is there anything before you get that next call?
No, just playing with the country band.
Okay, so back
and probably doing Evil United stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I was probably doing that. I had let's see. No, yeah, I probably was doing that, but I wasn't recording. I recorded the last Evil United record. The drums, I did them here, right where I'm sitting. Yeah, I was probably doing that and just playing with the band was called the Toman Brothers. They're here from San Antonio. They played with kind of a popular country artist named Gary Stewart, like back in the '80s, like early to mid '80s or something like that. So they were real excellent musicians. It was a fun band to play with. Those were cool. So I was probably just doing that, and then I didn't know what was going to happen. When Murder Dolls was happening, I told Wednesday, I was like, dude, I'd be interested in doing your solo stuff if you wanted. And he's like, yeah, I just don't want all the same members from Murder Dolls in it. And I was like, fuck. All right. Well, it's one or the other, I guess. I hope this thing is, not completely on its way out, but it wasn't looking very good, And, so a few weeks later, Wednesday called me and he's like, hey man, I've been thinking about it. And he's like, I want you to do the Wednesday thing if you want to do it. I was like, okay, cool, let's do it. He's like, so I'm gonna have Jack play guitar now. I have a bass player lined up, and then Ramon. He's like, we're gonna do a show at the Whiskey. I think I had like 2 months. He might have booked it like 2 or 3 months out. We did one show at the Whiskey. I guess it would have been that summer. So I'm like, cool. So he sends me all the songs. I learn everything. I'm practicing them here a lot, getting everything tight. I mean, I'm ready to roll. I get out there and we're at the rehearsal place. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's see what kind of shit drum set I got to use today to get through this. And it was a shit one. I remember that. But I set it up and everybody's there. The bass player's there, right? So he's setting up, getting his gear all together. And so he looks at me and he goes, so how many songs did you learn? And I looked at him and I was like, now mind you, we have a show in 2 days at the Whiskey. Yeah. And I looked at him and I go, well, I learned fucking all of them. Oh shit. Jack's like, we're all like, we learned them all. This guy didn't learn any of the fucking songs.
Oh my God.
And he was, oh my God, it was a freaking nightmare, man. It was so bad. He played with another big band. I don't really remember who this guy was. I just remember this story. But, he hadn't played his bass in so long that I guess the last time he had played it was the last show, whatever his band did. And so it had been a few years since he had played that bass. And he opens the case up and the fucking bass is broken, like in half.
Oh my God.
Oh shit, I forgot to say, I forgot I broke it at that show. You didn't even, oh man, this is not good. So we get through the fucking rehearsal. I remember we take a break. I'm outside talking to Wednesday, and I'm very concerned, I'm like, we got to come up with a plan, dude, because this ain't going to work. He's like, well, maybe tomorrow he'll be better. I was like, this ain't going to fucking work. It's not going to work. He doesn't know. He literally didn't even listen to it. Listen to it like once or twice. That's, it's not going to work, man. He's like, I don't know. So he's like, well, you're fucking kicking ass. And I go, well, thanks. I mean, I learned the songs. So we go back in and finish that out, and that was a nightmare. And we go to the whiskey right after and have a meeting about what the fuck are we gonna do. And I was pushing Jack. You got to play bass, and Wednesday you're gonna play rhythm guitar. Fuck. He's like, I didn't want to play guitar at this fucking show. I'm like, I don't know what else we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Jack already knows this shit, you know. And so I mean, that's what we decided. Okay, that's what we're doing. We're axing this guy like now, you know. Oh. What are we going to do in the future? And I'm sitting next to Ramon. We need a bass player. And I was like, fuck, what about Troy? I looked at Ramon. Of course, those guys didn't know Troy yet, but I looked at Ramon. I go, what about Troy? Ramon goes, you think he could do it? I was like, yeah, he could play this shit. He's a fucking good bass player. I mean, I played in a couple bands with him. You know, about Troy and stuff. And Wednesday was like, all right, well, tell him to learn some songs. Send me a video. So I called him when I was out there in Los Angeles. I called him and told him what was happening. I was like, learn these 5 songs like now. And when I get back from this, like later this week, we're going to go set up a place where we can make an audition video for you, me, you, and Ramon. So that's what we did. Sent it to Wednesday that day, and within a couple hours, Troy was on board.
Oh wow!
And then from there, it was, you know, the first thing we did was record "Calling All Corpses" and go out and tour that record, and that's how that whole cycle started.
So this stint with Wednesday 13, with "Calling All Corpses" going forward, how long were you with him at this point?
With Wednesday,
yeah,
just through the Murdered stuff.
So no, I mean from the Corpses.
Oh, how long was it? Oh, I get you. I did the next 4. I did the next 4 records. The last one was Monsters of the Universe. So I think that was in 2015. I love that record.
Yeah, that record is phenomenal. That just from start to finish. I mean, all those records were in that time frame. But so walk us through. You're with Wednesday from Calling All Corpses to Monsters of the Universe, and then what happens from there?
Oh boy, and this is when it gets interesting. So I had a friend that was playing in a band here from Texas called Murder FM. Mm-hmm. The singer was in he was in a big, I don't know, he was in a bigger band or something. I don't really know. These guys had a record deal, and it was like affiliated with Sony, and they had this manager, and, you know, I started kind of helping them out because they, I think that the first thing, they needed a drummer to fill in for a tour. So I did like a short, like it was maybe like a 2-week run or a week and a half or something. And I came back, and, you know, they kind of started bamboozling me about, this band is going to be fucking huge. We got this going on. We got this going on. We got Tommy Lee. Tommy Lee was really into the band for some reason.
Oh, wow.
He did a remix. He actually did a remix track of one of our songs on that record.
Oh,
wow. So it was like, dude, it was just like looking like, dude, we're going to fucking make a fucking dent in this thing, you know? Mm-hmm. And I was just kind of like, I don't know. I love the Wednesday thing and everything, but I was just kind of like, well, maybe this is a chance to like be part of an actual band, mm-hmm. and not just playing for a solo artist, mm-hmm. you know? And that's kind of why I did it, because I always wanted that. I missed that about like Neurotica and stuff, you know? So I did it, and it just didn't happen.
Okay, got it.
And it actually ended up being a pretty miserable thing for me. Like, you know, at the end, when that thing stopped, that's another one that just stopped. But my plan was, the next time they contact me and they're like, hey, we're going out with fucking head PE or whatever we were doing. I was going to be like, well, then you got to find somebody because I'm not going.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not fucking going. That's it. Their manager took off with a bunch of money, fucking ripped them off. You know, money that should have went in my pocket. I didn't get paid. I didn't get paid anything to do it.
Wow.
I was being a team player.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
Fucking stupid. You know,
Unreal.
I still kick myself in the ass about it. I wish I would have stayed. You know,
The
I
reason
wish I would have fucking stayed.
just for my listeners, like the reason I said like your this stint with Wednesday is because this past year you were actually drumming for him again,
Mhm.
with the There's No Such Thing as Monsters tour, and
Mhm.
that's where we met actually. And
Yep.
man, you were kicking ass. So like you said, you wish you never would have went, back then. So that had to be cool for you to jump back up with Wednesday and Troy and everybody.
It's cool and it's fucking depressing at the same time. You know,
Understandable, yeah, yeah. Because Mike
but
did come back. So
he did come back.
yeah,
You know, and I'm glad. I have no hard feelings towards that. That's the situation. But
yeah,
it is kind of like another fucking punch in my face. Like, you fucked up. You know,
I
kind
got
of. I fucked up. You know.
So what
But
happened in that time frame then? So you said that that other band just kind of stopped, and then obviously you're not going to stop playing drums. You're a drummer; it's what you do. So
yeah,
before you come back to Wednesday on this past tour, there was a lot of stuff happening in between. So tell us about it.
in between was a lot of just doing stuff around Texas, playing with Evil United. We were doing shows here and there. I was still doing the Tillman Brothers thing. I was filling in for various bands. I had an Iron Maiden tribute band that I was part of. I got asked to be part of it, and it was really killer. It was badass. These guys were fucking top notch fucking players, man. It was really cool. So we did that around here, and it got pretty popular. Yeah. I did stuff like that. I invested in like some, studio gear to learn how to record. I actually bought a digital board to have as my own in-ear rig, and I learned that I had recording capabilities. So I started learning how to record, and I ended up putting a few songs together that I had written for an EP. I recorded it all right here. Had my buddy Bird from Evil United, Pitbull Daycare. I had him play solos on it. Mm-hmm. I played the bass, rhythm guitars, and the drums on these songs. And then I recruited the singer of the Iron Maiden tribute band. His name's Mauricio Adon, and he's fucking one of the most killer singers I've ever heard in my life, and I asked him if he wanted to help me, sing, if he wanted to sing on it, put lyrics to it. I didn't write lyrics. I wrote all the music. The song we have a video out for is called Self-Destruction. And that song I wrote when I was like 19. But yeah, so I started, I put this thing together and started a band called Down Generation. So it was, it was a band that we released one EP. It's not even available online right now. I might put it back up one day, but it's the thing I did, and it didn't. We did some cool stuff. We opened for some big bands, and we wrote. I have a lot of demos of some cool songs that we never put out. So maybe one day, I might do that. So I did that thing. I played drums a lot here at the house because, well, fuck, I had my days free. My wife's at work, so I'd sit and jam in here for hours and then load up another kit and go to the gig and do that. So there was just a lot of that going on.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I hooked up with a country artist named Creed Fisher. Mm-hmm. He's an outlaw country artist, and he's pretty big in that world. And I got recruited to do that. I did one album with him, and I did that for about 5 years. Toured the United States with them. And life got really bad around that time, and ended up losing my gig. I have, people that do know me, I had a bad bout with alcohol, for years and years. So that's kind of what threw me into retirement. I almost died. I spent 2 weeks in the hospital on breathing machines, everything, and came out of that and just stopped and was like, I'm going to go back to teaching. Well, I also teach at School Rock part-time here in San Antonio. So I kind of went into doing that almost full-time, kind of as a main gig. And then the next 4 years, basically up till the point I just did this last tour with Wednesday, is absolutely nothing.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that's when you were just fully teaching?
Just teaching. Yep. And planning to sell all my shit.
And then you get the call and you go.
And then I was like, well, I'm glad I didn't sell my shit. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah. Well, everybody's glad you sell your shit, because, man, that was I only got to go to one of the shows on that tour, but you guys were fucking phenomenal. So, what
show were you at again?
Buffalo.
You're in Buffalo. That's right. Okay. Yeah. I remember. Well, I met you real briefly, because you were Wednesday. We were kind of, chopping it up and stuff, So I talked to you. I got to talk to you for a few minutes, I think. I guess. Yeah. And then, and I remember right after you left, and I was, nice to meet you. Yeah, you too, man. We'll see you around.
And again, that day was so much fun. Jumping on the bus and hanging with you guys for a bit, and just, me and Wednesday were talking about the Monsters of Rock cruise for a long time that day. And
yeah.
And you
I remember
that. The venue was great for you guys, and you guys just absolutely killed it, and the crowd was so hot for it. So it was cool to see you back, and it's just one of those things where it's like, oh man, I remember when he was playing with them before. So to see you again, and then I finally got to meet you, because like I said, on the Gunfire 76 tour, I actually did open some shows, but you weren't playing. So I actually would have met you way back when.
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
That would have changed some shit, if I would have done that Gunfire thing. I'm like, what would have happened then, but it worked out the way it was supposed to work out,
Yeah.
I had a great time, with Wednesday in the crew. We did a lot of freaking cool stuff and a lot of cool shows and stuff, and now I'm glad to see. I mean, when I was in the band, it's not like it is for him today, he's blowing up pretty big, It's just getting bigger and bigger. I was like, wow, dude, this is not what it was like when I was here before. That's another thing too. It wasn't like this, man. That was hands down probably the easiest tour as far as having a set schedule of how we did stuff every day. For me, that was the easiest. Drama, 100% free. It was nobody drinks anymore. I was like, thank God for that. I have a whole sober crew around,
Yeah,
we just smoke, and fucking watch dumb shit on TV.
Yeah.
And then wake up early and do it again the next day. Now I will say I was extremely that tour, I was in some pretty bad pain that whole freaking tour because I'm out of shape.
Oh.
And I play every day at the school, and I play hard there, and I play a lot, So I was like, I'm still playing, so I mean, I'm still playing good. I think I should be all right. Well, I didn't really think about that might be a little bit of a different situation as far as your energy level when you're on stage with that band and what you're doing in here. And I found out the hard way. I mean, from the first 3 shows all the way out, my whole body freaking hurt. I'm still recovering from it, literally. And then I had a rotten tooth. I had tooth problems for about 3 weeks on that run. A nerve exposed. The whole side of my face is just throbbing. I got it pulled while I was out there, which was an immediate relief. Yeah, it was wild. I was like, dude, I'm old. And I felt bad because those guys are still used to it and they're probably just looking at me like, God damn, he's fucked up, you know? And he's just walking around all the time like this, or he's in his bunk. I was in my bunk just laying down like I gotta conserve enough energy to get up there and do this shit. And then I would go fucking do it and pay for it more and more and more and more every day.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what though? Like what a comeback story though, because like you said, you almost died, and like I just think that's such a cool like. And here I am again doing this tour, and yeah, you had the aches and pains and the tooth problems, but you did it, and it was a successful tour, and I think that's really awesome.
It was amazing. It was badass, you know. It was a lot of fun. That was really
I
cool to do, you know. See, God, I hadn't seen Wednesday and Jack in years, so it was
yeah
pretty much when Wednesday saw me, he was like, "God damn, you look exactly the same." I was like, "Well, not kind of, but no, I'm definitely older." You're gonna see. You're gonna see, because I know I'm gonna. I figured I'd be, I'm gonna be sore for a couple weeks, but it'll be all right, you know.
yeah
No, I was sore from day one to the time I got home. And I fucking was like in coma mode at this house for like a week and a half, not doing anything, dude. Just like being like, I can't believe it, like week 3, I could not believe how bad my body hurt. It was like, I've had some major category 10 hangovers that you feel like you're going to die. That's what I felt like. I was like, wow. Oh, this is rough.
I bet,
And
man.
then,
I bet.
and then it got better, but I stayed sore. But
Yeah.
that's all. That's all. It's all good. I do it. I do it all again 100 times.
Well, I want before we wrap this up and actually get you out of here, I want you to. You said you're not on social media very much, but still plug your social media, and I want new fans to follow you, and just because you never know what's going to pop up and where you're going to be and what's going to happen. So let's just like
Absolutely.
get that out there.
Yeah. So, I mean, my Instagram, I just started, my old account got hacked, so I didn't have one for a while. So when I did do that tour, I started an Instagram like the first day of the tour or
Mm.
something. And I think it's under, if you look up Jason Shakes West, or like there's a screen name Shakes 1313, which Wednesday suggested. Uh, I was like, okay, I'll just do that for now, you know. And I posted a few things on there. So that's the Instagram. If you just look up Jason West on Facebook, that's my Facebook. Um, YouTube is Jason Shakes West. There's a few drum videos I got on there. I have plans in the future of actually, I'm going to start doing like kind of the Instagram drum video stuff, like playing some songs and just doing what I do. I've never done it because I'm like, dude, there's so many good people out there doing it that are a million times better than me. What the fuck, why, and, but I kind of, I'm like, well, maybe, I guess I have something to offer. So maybe I'll just try it and see if it takes off. So
I
I'm
mean,
kind of putting a plan together for that.
you're the guy that toured the whole world by 2007. So yeah, put stuff out there.
Yeah, sometimes I just don't think, you know, very highly of myself to where I can't compete with this shit. I just don't do it. But you don't know unless you try.
I agree. Hey, Sebastian Bach said you were a fucking badass drummer, and that counts for something.
That was cool. It meant more when Joey said it.
Oh man, I was gonna say like high praise there.
When Joey told me that was when I was in Pitbull. I was on the ministry tour. I rode the bus with him one night because we were hanging out
Yeah.
and we were all splitting. He was like, "You want to just ride the bus?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I want to ride the bus." And he told me that night, he's like, and I knew he would watch me from the side of the stage. And he was like, "You're a fucking killer, dude." Because I think I said something like, "Yeah, whatever the bullshit I do, fucking." He was like, "Dude, you're a killer." I was like, "What?" Yeah, man. I was like, thanks, dude. That's fucking wow. Wow. Like, I'm sitting here with the drummer of Slipknot right across from me. And he's telling me that he likes my drumming. That's pretty fucking amazing.
That is amazing. And you know what? That is
Fucking
the
cool.
perfect place to put a pin in this interview just because of that. So thank you so much for doing this, man. This was so much fun.
Dude, thank you for having me. I talk so much. I ran out of water. I don't have any water. I'm dying right now. Like, oh, I didn't want to stop the thing to get water.
We could have.
Nah, it's all good. We'll
Thanks
barrel
again.
through it. Just like the tour barreled through it.